Everyone today feels busy. Calendars are full. Inboxes never clear. Messages keep arriving. Deadlines keep compressing. For many professions, work no longer has a clear boundary. It spills into evenings, weekends, and personal time. Being reachable always has quietly become part of the job. And yet, when people look back at a week, a month, or even a year, many feel they achieved far less than they expected. Not because they were lazy, not because they lacked ambition, but because modern work systems changed in ways that quietly reshaped how effort turns into results. At first glance, this seems paradoxical. Technology made work faster. Emails replaced letters. Spreadsheets replaced manual calculations. Software reduced friction everywhere. In theory, this should have reduced workload. In practice, it did the opposite. Because when the cost of doing something drops, systems don't stop doing it, they do more of it. When sending an email costs nothing, more emails are sent. When meetings are easy to schedule, more meetings appear. When tracking is possible, more tracking is demanded. Economists noticed this pattern long ago. Despite massive investment in digital tools, productivity growth often failed to rise proportionately. Efficiency improved, but work volume quietly expanded. As work volume increased, coordination became harder. More people were involved, more handoffs were required, more alignment was needed, so organizations adapted in a predictable way. They did not optimize for depth or judgment. They optimized for responsiveness, how quickly you reply, how available you are, how fast you acknowledge tasks. Responsiveness became a proxy for commitment. This shift was subtle but powerful. Being thoughtful takes time, being responsive takes seconds, and in growing systems under pressure, seconds win. Once responsiveness became valuable, measurement followed. It is easy to measure activity, availability, speed of response. It is much harder to measure insight, judgment, long-term impact. So organizations tracked what was visible. Meetings attended, messages answered, tasks updated. Over time, this changed behavior. People were not rewarded for outcomes alone. They were rewarded for appearing busy. This is how productivity emerged. It means the act of appearing busy without actual productivity. It emerged not through deception, but through incentives. This is where the system collides with human limits. Human brains are not designed for constant switching. Every interruption carries a cognitive cost. When attention jumps from one task to another, the brain leaves residue behind. Research on task switching shows that frequent switching can reduce effective productivity by roughly 30 to 40%. Not because people lack focus, but because reorientation consumes mental energy. Over a day, this creates fatigue without the satisfaction of meaningful progress. People feel busy but not effective. There is another layer that reinforces this pattern. Many modern tasks offer instant feedback. A reply sent, a notification cleared, a checkbox ticked. Each small completion delivers a minor dopamine reward. Over time, the brain learns a preference. Quick tasks feel satisfying, deep work feels slow and effortful. So attention drifts toward what feels productive, even when it contributes little to long-term goals. This is not a motivation problem. It is a feedback problem. Systems reward immediacy. Brains adapt accordingly. As this environment persists, something critical disappears. Slack. It means intentional preservation of unallocated time and resources within a workday. Slack does not mean inefficiency. It means buffer capacity, time to think, time to revise, time to absorb mistakes. Earlier systems had Slack by default not because they were better designed, but because coordination was slower and expectations were loose. Modern systems eliminate Slack deliberately. Every hour is allocated, every delay is questioned, every gap is filled. When Slack goes to zero, systems become brittle. People remain busy but depth disappears. This is where deep work dies. Over time, behavior adapts to survive. People narrow ambition to manage workload. They focus on completing tasks rather than creating impact. Creativity declines. Risk-taking declines. Urgent tasks crowd out important ones. Long-term goals are postponed repeatedly. Motion increases. Progress slows. This is the busyness paradox. Despite working harder than before, many people feel they are falling behind. Not gaining skills fast enough. Not building long-term assets. Not moving forward as expected. Busyness consumes the very resources of time, attention, energy that achievement requires. Feeling busy but unproductive is not a personal failure. It is a system outcome. Modern work environments are excellent at filling time, coordinating activity, measuring motion. They are far worse at protecting focus, preserving slack, and enabling deep progress. Understanding this reframes the problem. The issue is not how to work harder. It is how work systems are designed. Until systems reduce low-value work, limit fragmentation, and protect uninterrupted thinking, people will continue to feel busy even as achievement quietly stagnates. And this doesn't stop at work. When time is fragmented and slack disappears, risk becomes unaffordable. Which is why, in the next video, we'll examine why ordinary people find it so hard to take risks, build businesses or change paths. Because busyness doesn't just affect productivity, it reshapes opportunity itself. If you like our video, please like, share the video and please subscribe to our channel.